From student to star to singing for a cause. Our cameras are rolling as One Duval School welcomes former X Factor contestant Ryan Page. Keep watching to learn why this visit was about much more than music. Plus, they're getting in the game and getting inside one exciting career track. We're talking about an up-and-coming video game design magnet that's taking students to the next level. Find out which school is using this innovative program to help students conquer computer science. And this school is keeping it all in the family with an event too good to pass up. Coming up, we'll show you how One Duval Elementary is joining generations with goodies for grandparents. Guys, we're just getting started. A new episode of Real School starts now.
She's taking center stage and hitting all of the right notes, all in the name of awareness. I'm Gracie Marsh. Thanks for tuning in. It's a story you'll only see on Real School. Duval student turned X Factor contestant Ryan Page puts on an in-school performance with a powerful message. Reporter Tanaj Davis joins us now with the footage.
Gracie, can you imagine? We're talking about a celebrity coming to your school. But when it was time for Ryan Page to take the mic, it wasn't just about what she was singing, but also about what she was saying. I won't just conform. Before the lights were on and the curtains were up, Ryan Page was more than a singer. She was a student coming home.
Oh, my girl!
This is Mandarin Oaks Elementary School, and long before Page made the airways as a top contender on The X Factor, she was a student of Duval County. On this day, she's giving back through song and a special message.
I definitely believe that my school experience, especially in elementary school, was a time of understanding who I was and who I wanted to be.
Paige was a student of this school in grades pre-K to 5. Her visit came in conjunction with Disability History and Awareness Weeks, a time near and dear to both the singer and the school.
I found that were shaping and molding me for what the world had for me.
You see, Paige was born with the condition that causes her hands to remain bent at all times. She's also blind in one of her eyes. But she says she'll never let any of that stop her, especially when it was time to audition for one of the biggest singing competitions of the decade.
I think all of us have something that makes us different. We all have something on the inside. My hands just happen to be a little bit more noticeable than something that may be going on at home with you, or someone who has something going on the inside. But I really want them to realize that those things don't necessarily make someone weak, that actually can make them strong.
So, in addition to singing for students, Paige also spoke from the heart, encouraging them to embrace each other's differences and to pursue their dreams at all costs.
It encourages them to fight through what they can't do, and they can do it.
Most people aren't always the same, but they all have the same heart and feeling.
Students also had the chance to ask questions about her everyday life.
How can you write?
And even about some fun stuff.
Do you have a pet?
I do have a pet.
And you know what else was pretty special about Paige's visit? When she sang her original song, Sleeping Giant, which is all about overcoming fear.
Let's wake up the sleeping giant.
It helps people fight over their fears and encourages people to do what they couldn't do.
I think it's pretty clear that Paige made a pretty big impact on students, and it's an impact she hopes remains with them for the rest of their lives.
We can really teach the students to look at the person not as a disability, but we can look at them as an actual student, a person, a peer, someone's daughter, someone's kid. I think that that's just really important, is to keep that human connection alive.
Guys, Paige was only 13 when she was on the X Factor. Now she's 17 and a senior in high school. I have a feeling she's got a long career ahead of her. For Real School, I'm Tanaj Davis. Back to you.
Thanks, Tanaj. Duval schools are making the cut over and over again. From campus credit unions and to clothing closets, Duval Schools is moving full speed ahead in pursuing partnerships that are connecting our campuses with the community. This fall has been a busy season of ribbon cutting ceremonies and grand openings. Fortunately for you, we've been on the scene, capturing many of these exciting moments on camera. First, we begin with a priceless opportunity that's already yielding high returns for our students. We're talking about student-led banking. Let's go to Real School reporter Rishi Kumar. He's got the bottom line of this big story.
Gracie, you could say it's all in the numbers. One great opportunity, now multiplied many times over in 5 of our schools. With that kind of math, it's no wonder the good news keeps adding up. Behind the desk and behind the counter, you'll find students who have moved beyond the books and right into business. That is, the business of learning on the job. And we're not just talking about one school, or even 2. This school year, Mandarin and Fletcher High Schools became the 4th and 5th schools in the district to partner with VyStar in housing student-led credit union branches on campus. And what better way to celebrate than with booming sounds, balloons, banners, and one big ribbon-cutting ceremony.
I think it's a really great opportunity for the students here. People are starting to open up accounts and start saving, and I think that's really important, especially in the times that we are now.
So, if you're wondering how students are getting the chance to staff and run these branches, well, it all goes back to a program teaching students the ins and outs of financial literacy.
I'm really excited for this program.
Students in participating schools begin by putting in applications and interviewing for positions.
The interviewing process was pretty stressful, pretty daunting. There were 7 or 8 people at the table, adults, including the principal, very important people. And we just went in there, sit down, not knowing what to expect.
Once accepted, they train and learn how to run a credit union branch, accepting deposits, helping customers with withdrawals, and more.
It's very rewarding to watch it happen. Doing bookwork, completing homework assignments, it's way different than actually dealing with real money and actually taking all the steps that need to be taken in order for all that to happen.
But their experiences don't stop within school walls. Students are also given the chance to apply for internships and scholarships. Certainly sounds like a real formula for success, not just in the now.
As soon as they put on their resume that they've been in this program, that's a big advantage.
But also in the long run.
Working here in the branch, it doesn't really feel like school because time flies when you're really helping out people and when you're trying to figure out how to solve all these problems. But it's a very exciting time and it flies by. It doesn't really feel like a class.
By the way, these branches are run by students during their lunch periods. And students aren't the only ones taking advantage of these services. They're also open to the general public. For Real School, I'm Rishi Kumar. Back to you.
Thanks, Rishi. Our next story sees a school and a nonprofit coming together to take a one-size-fits-all approach to compassion. And as Real School anchor Will Nowak reports, it's already making a huge difference. Hey, Will.
Gracie, something that seems as simple as the clothes on your back doesn't always come so easy for all of our students. But for one Duval teacher, that's turned into a mission, creating a clothing closet that goes beyond the classroom and into the community. The ribbon was up, the calendar marked, and the signage was in place. This day has been a long time coming for Jennifer Smith, longtime teacher and founder of the Giving Closet Project.
And for the longest time, I've been thinking, how can I help serve more children?
Surrounded by partners and supporters, Smith made an exciting announcement. Her school, Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary, would now house the Giving Closet Project's first school-based location.
We have created a system for filtering those clothes back into schools.
From tops to bottoms, books to bags, and everything in between. School social workers, counselors, and other personnel will have a single location in which they can place and fulfill orders for students and families in need.
If they're not in school because they don't have clean clothes and they have a chronic absenteeism problem, then they're not going to perform. If they aren't wearing clean clothes or clothes that fit them, they're probably not going to feel that great about themselves.
Smith says the Giving Closet Project was born out of a need she saw in a former student, a young girl and her mom living out of a car and lacking in clean clothes.
It started with me washing clothes for her and her mom, and meanwhile at my old school our lost and found pile was just accumulating stuff, and I know year after year it would get tossed.
And instead of allowing those clothes to get tossed, Smith began cleaning them and distributing them to students. From there, the project has grown in size and in scope.
She was looking for a space and a way to connect with more children in the district, and I thought, I have a room for you that you can use.
To bring the project into Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary, Smith partnered with the Community First Cares Foundation. They chipped in with everything from funding to resources and volunteers.
She shared with us the staggering statistics of students that did not have the basic necessities to really start their day out of school.
In fact, Smith says the project wouldn't be where it is without volunteers. Volunteers who sort, stack, and stock, ensuring the closet is ready to fulfill the needs in the district. And so when it was finally time to cut the ribbon, there you go. Staff and volunteers recognized that this was about much more than new beginnings. It's about a vision that continues to help students to do what they came to school for, learn.
Kids should not be worried about those kinds of things. And if we can help just take that, off of their minds, they'll be free to learn and thrive.
I feel like God kind of gave me this vision, and even though I've had some setbacks along the way, there's always, He keeps giving me signs saying, this is what you're supposed to be doing.
By the way, it's estimated that about 25% of the families living around Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary live in poverty. We have no doubt that this closet is going to make a tremendous impact for years to come. For Real School, I'm Will Nowak. Back to you.
Thanks, Will. In the days following Hurricane Irma, many students and families here in Duval County found themselves in need of a helping hand. And it was in this need that we saw the Department of Agriculture step in. We're looking at video of Florida Commissioner of Agriculture Adam Putnam at Beauclair Elementary School. The state leader arrived bright and early in order to help serve breakfast in the school cafeteria. Thanks to the Florida Department of Agriculture, every student in Duval County was able to receive free meals for over a month due to the impact of Hurricane Irma. Putnam told reporters that providing healthy food was just one way the department could help families focus on recovery.
We know that kids perform better when they've had a good breakfast and a good lunch. They're going to have better academic performance. They're going to miss fewer days of school from being ill, and they're not going to be fidgety.
Putnam went on to share that 48 counties, 3,000 schools, and 2.5 million students statewide were affected by Irma. By the way, no paperwork or registration was required of any families to receive the free meals. Coming up on Real School, they're stepping up their game, all in the name of STEM. We're talking about the Video Game Design Magnet at Andrew Jackson High School. You'll want to stay tuned for an inside look at the up-and-coming program after the break. Plus, from a sweet sailor surprise to a day all about dads, Duval schools are taking the time to honor some of the most important men in our students' lives. Keep watching for more of these touching tributes. We're just getting started. Real School will be back after the break.
A look inside your public schools. Gee whiz, that looks fun and educational.
Well, that was then and this is now. Times have changed in Duval County, and so have your options. Our students are programming robots in STEM and learning career trades like construction. They're attending military leadership academies and enrolling in sports medicine, management, and broadcast programs. With so many neighborhood, magnet, and choice options, we don't have time to name them all. But we do have something unique for every student. Discover today's Duval County Public Schools.
Talk about one unforgettable moment. This video was sent to our newsroom, and it's of Navy Chief Vincent Stolp surprising his daughter Sarah at a volleyball game at Mandarin High School. Stolp made a return after 6 months of being stationed abroad on active duty. Thanks to a little help from his wife and DCPS employee Amy, looks like Stolp was able to pull off the perfect homecoming, all in front of relatives who also packed the stands of the game. Congrats to the Stolp family, and thank you for your service. Our next story sees scores of students saluting dads. It was all part of a statewide celebration honoring the special relationship between father and child. Let's go to Real School reporter Jackson Copeland for the scoop. Hey, Jackson.
Hey, Gracie. It may have been a day-long celebration, but I had a year-round strategy, getting parents to pledge to partner with their kids and remain involved in their education. You could see the dads in droves, eating with their students, sitting with their students, and making memories with their students. Welcome to Venetia Elementary School. On this day, the cafeteria is full of flags celebrating our armed forces. But most importantly, it's full of students and families celebrating Dad.
I think it means a lot, you know, with a school that's so close to a military community.
The occasion was Dads Take Your Child to School Day, a statewide event that invites dads, father figures, and mentors to bring their students to school, all in an effort to recognize the importance of a father's involvement in a child's life. Here at Venetia Elementary School, where the military population is high, leaders took festivities to the next level. They hosted a special breakfast paired with a special ceremony and special guests. That included School Board Chair Paula Wright, Board Member Becky Couch, Superintendent Pat Willis, and the state's Chancellor Herschel Lyons.
Don't just allow our wonderful mothers and grandmothers and our ladies to take the lead.
In the past, there have been the notion that moms are supposed to be part of just school and dads are just supposed to provide. But you know, it's 2017 and times have changed. Dads have a lot more of variety and myriad of responsibilities, and academics is one of those.
When it comes to academics, research has a lot to say about dad's involvement. Studies show that when a father is actively involved in their child's education, students tend to perform better in school, have fewer discipline problems, and become more responsible adults.
Set high expectations for my child's educational success.
It's no wonder this pledge was part of this event's program, a series of statements promising support, encouragement, and involvement all year round. To wrap things up, each student was given a gold coin to present to their dad. Give that to your daddy. I'd say this is a huge success, not only in bringing out plenty of dads, but also in bringing out a renewed commitment to our students.
It's encouraging to see this many fathers, just in general, not even just military dads, but just dads in general, that are here like supporting their kids and their education.
And guys, this is the perfect time to get the whole family involved. That's because November is Family Engagement Month in education. And if you want to learn more, go to duvalschools.org. And for now, I'm Jackson Copeland. Back to you, Gracie.
Thanks, Jackson. It's game time at Andrew Jackson High School. It's where students are stepping into an exciting STEM program, all with a point, a click, and some code. Real School anchor Tavion Johnson is on set with a story you'll only see on Real School.
Gracie, you can definitely say that STEM is the name of the game in this program. Thanks to this magnet, students are applying in-class concepts in a fun, exciting, and educational way. From the keyboard to the mouse and to the monitor, students are entering code.
When you're coding, you have to make sure you put like the exact numbers.
They're creating terrain.
I don't think anyone else in the class has done an underground pad yet.
And they're making moves.
That's our fundamental goal. You're going to leave knowing how a video game works.
This is a game design simulation class at Andrew Jackson High School. Students are taking their knowledge of science, technology, engineering, and math, and learning how to make video games from the ground up.
Every kid comes in here because video games. They hear video games, they're excited. My goal is to give them a very strong foundation in computer science. I want them to get into college or maybe industry, but my goal is for them to go to college and hopefully study computer science.
This course is one part of Andrew Jackson High School's growing video game design magnet. Thanks to a lot of hands-on learning, students are quickly realizing there's more to video games than just play.
When it comes to the science and math part of coding, you're going to need it a lot, especially when it comes to 2D and 3D games.
You see, making it to the next level of game design requires a good handle on your academics. A mindset instructor, Ian Lozano, hopes to instill in students now before they enter college.
What we want to do though is have them build a foundation in a fun way. We want them to see like, oh look, all this coding is building a video game. And then when they get to college, they see these things they're familiar with. These things that sound so foreign to most people, they're going to go, you know, I don't know how to do it in this program, but Mr. Lozano or some teacher taught me what this is, and I'm not scared of it. I know how to tackle this.
Without a doubt, students are tackling a lot. They are also learning fundamentals of digital informational technology, ensuring they are well-rounded and ready for the real world.
Definitely more steps into it than I thought there was going to be. I like doing the coding and stuff that we learned.
You have to open the door.
You know what else makes this program cool? It's the first of its kind in the district and the first of its kind in Andrew Jackson High School.
Makes me feel pretty good to be a part of Andrew Jackson, like first pioneers.
That STEM field is the next big thing, and the kids want it. They really do want it, but they just don't have the opportunities. And so by providing these opportunities, we really are giving these kids a cool chance to succeed.
And as students continue to learn, it's obvious they're becoming more confident, not only in their skills, but also in their future.
I feel like this program definitely will bring in more people who do like doing video games and like playing them and actually want to learn how they made and if they want to go into the career of making video games.
I, for one, am proud of my high school and my peers in this program. If you want to learn more, just visit Andrew Jackson's website. That's duvalschools.org/AJHS. For Real School, I'm Tavion Johnson. Back to you.
Thanks, Tavion. Our next story showcases a group that's hitting the road with a mission to teach everyone from students to staff how to conserve energy and save money. You're looking at the Live Smart mobile unit. SMART stands for Sustainable Materials and Resources Trailer, and it made a stop at the Duval County Public Schools Administration Building. District teachers and staff spent the afternoon touring the mini house on wheels, and they got hands-on tips on how to put environmentally friendly practices into place in schools and at home. To learn more, visit usgbcflorida.org. Next on Real School, it's a family affair at Kernan Trail Elementary School as students welcome some very special guests with goodies. After the break, we're taking you to a celebration giving grandparents a seat in the classroom. It's called Goodies for Grandparents, and believe us, this is a sweet treat you don't want to miss. Plus, we're giving you a lesson in outstanding teachers. In moments, we're introducing you to Larry Knight, an award-winning educator known for leading one of the longest-running student papers in the city. We'll have his story after the break. Don't flip the switch. Real School will be right back.
Well, you all know who I am. And yet, you still ask me if I can pull a rabbit out of my hat. Well, you know, the truth is I'm not a magician. And I've seen some of the greatest magicians in the world, but I've never met a magician that can do magic. They just do tricks. They use these magic words that don't mean anything, but there are 3 magic words that will work in every aspect of your life, but you can't just say these words. You have to use these words. And they're very simple. I often give them to students all over the country. Most of the time I ask you to repeat them after me, but since I'm not there with you now, let me leave you with 3 of the most important words that you will ever use in your life. Read, read, read.
Welcome back to Real School. You could say the students in our next story had a grand time welcoming some of their very distinguished guests into their classroom, their grandparents. Check it out. This is Goodies for Grandparents at Kernan Trail Elementary School, a special event in which kindergarten and first grade students invited grandma and grandpa to class. Grandparents were first led to students' desks where they were welcomed with handmade cards, photos, and crafts. From there, they also enjoyed refreshments, a classroom tour, great conversations, and of course, lots of quality time with their loved ones.
It's incredibly meaningful to us to be able to share in our children's education. We're big pro-education people, and to see the excitement on our granddaughter's face to know that Nana and Papa are going to come today and she gets to show us around. And it gives her pride in her education, and it gives her pride in her school. So I think this is a wonderful idea.
And hey, it's not just grandparents who are getting a special welcome at Kernan Trail. Teachers also host muffins for moms and donuts with dads. That all sounds yummy and fun. Great work! For our final story of the day, we take you to Stanton College Prep. There you'll find an educator with a long list of awards and accomplishments. But we know the thing he's most proud of is being able to change lives. Here's his story in his own words.
Hi, my name is Larry Knight. I work at Stanton College Preparatory School, and I teach in the English Language Arts Department.
That idea of the hero.
I didn't have any intentions of going into the field of education. My bachelor's degree is in English literature, my master's degree is in journalism. I was looking for a job. By chance, a really good friend of mine was recruiting in Baton Rouge, and she told me about teaching in Duval County. I submitted a resume, got a phone call to interview on the phone with the vice principal here at Stanton. Next thing you know, I'm moving. to a city I'd never visited before, to a school I'd never seen before. And since then, I've immersed myself in the community, and it's been home.
Battling the South.
I think that student-led instruction is really the way that all education should go. And obviously, that doesn't mean that as a teacher we give total control of the classroom over to the student. And I think that it's important that they discover their own knowledge and not have me dispense it from my podium every day, and just have them collaborate with one another and really find their way through the material, me serving as more of a shepherd or a guide, a facilitator.
So right beneath the letter.
His classroom is one of those classrooms that when you are looking at his students, they are always actively engaged. Because their teacher is present, they draw from his energy. Mr. Knight was our Teacher of the Year last year, and he actually did go up to top 15. We were actually hoping that he becomes Duval County's Teacher of the Year because he really does have what it takes.
We'll have our last phase.
You know, the Devil's Advocate has been in existence at the school since 1983. And as far as we know, this is one of the oldest continually running high school newspapers in the city. These students need to be given a platform to voice their thoughts, their opinions, their ideas. To that end, I think it's very important that the students understand that if you are going to call yourself a journalist, there's a certain way that you're supposed to operate. And so there's a professional mindset in our newspaper class, on our staff, and the students take it extremely seriously.
Our faculty, students, parents respect Mr. Knight, and the respect comes from what he does for our community and our children.
To be able to see young people gain knowledge, realize that they know things or learn things that they didn't think they knew, and just to see the light bulb go off is ultimately rewarding.
Well guys, that's it for this edition of Real School. Be sure to mark your calendar for the same time, same place next month as we debut a brand new episode. That's Sunday, December 3rd at 6 p.m. right here on the CW17. And remember, you can always keep up with us on duvalschools.org and on social media. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time, have a great day.
It's about a vision that continues to help students to do what they came to school for.
For Real School, I'm Tanaz Davis. Back to you.
Do you want me to keep the holding? Yeah, there you go. I got you.
Big smile. And 3, 2.
Hey Gracie, it may have been a day-long celebration, but it had a year-round strategy.
By the way, these benches are run by students during their lunch period. Oh, wait, I glanced again.
Thanks, Rishi. Our next story sees a school. I lost my place.
If you want to learn more, just visit Andrew Jackson's website. That's duvalschools.org/AJ.